Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. You know, folks, when the Troma team and I are not making those great movies like Return to Nukem High, aka Volume 2, or The Toxic Avenger, the Troma team likes to kick back and tune into the incredible New England Comic Con reviews, because the New England Comic Con reviews is the most educational and certainly the most entertaining source of information that the Troma team has ever seen.
So what's up, y'all? It's good to be here in Worcester.
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 Is that how you say it? Worcester?
Worcester. Wicked and Worcester.
Wicked.
Wow.
Having a wicked good time in Worcester, y'all.
Wicked pizza time in Worcester.
There we go. All right, so let's get started. So, did you guys have backgrounds in martial arts before you started working on this show?
I did it when I was younger. I did Kung Fu Sansu when I was a young child, and I didn't continue it intensely when I grew up, but I was very active and like just moving around, and I'm pretty just like I pick things up pretty quickly. So when I booked the job, you just kind of pretty much have to show you have coordination and be able to actually put effort into it. And they give us Japanese stunty training when we get there for a few months. So I learned how to kick butt eventually.
I did Taekwondo when I was like 12. And it lasted for maybe 6 months.
So
no.
the average.
So the average kid's exposure to martial arts.
Yeah.
Other than that, no.
You couldn't pull out somebody's heart.
No.
Within
no
the 6 months you were
exploding or 5-point exploding heart.
Yeah. So you were like, I'm all set.
Yeah, no. Wasn't for me.
And did you guys watch any of the previous seasons? Like, were you Power Rangers fans before?
I'm pretty sure we both watched Mighty Morphin. Everyone's watched Mighty Morphin.
Absolutely.
My favorite was In Space. That was probably the one I was most into. I think just because I was born in '91. So for me, In Space, like, I think was 95 or something. And so that was like kind of age I started like actually knowing what I'm watching. So that's when I remember watching. And then after that, when I booked the job, I actually didn't know they still were airing it. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, is this still going on? And when I was auditioning and I found out there's been so many seasons and so many years and so many amazing people part of it, and it's cool now. I've watched everything now, and I'm a big fan, even more than I was before.
I watched Mighty Morphin and Zeo and In Space when I was pretty young. But I think my favorite is probably, just because I love cars so much, so probably RPM. Just motorcycles and cars just were so awesome to me when I was a kid. So
You can't go wrong with that.
can't go wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, martial arts, cars,
Yeah.
bikes.
Fighting robots, cars, bikes. Yeah.
It has everything
It checks
kids like,
everything off.
right?
Yeah.
And so was that like part of your decision-making process when you were like, I'm gonna go for this? Like, I watched the show when I was a kid, and I like would love to be a part of a very long legacy.
If someone's going to tell you you can be a Power Ranger, of course, you can be like, well, yeah. If you told 5-year-old me I was going to be a Power Ranger when I grew up, like, are you kidding me? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's just an honor to be like a part of everything and you looked up to, and you're this idol of people, and you give a part of this giant family. Like, I automatically got married into uncles and aunts and people that look after me. If I'm walking around the street, I have JDF next to me, like, he'll kick your butt if you mess with me. And it's cool. It's a really cool feeling, and all my friends are jealous.
Absolutely.
To me, I'll be completely candid with you guys. It was just another audition. As an actor, we kind of take things in stride, and we don't like to focus on. There's a lot of negativity and a lot of rejection in our line of work, and I really didn't think much of it. It's, like, even in the callbacks and everything, I was just like, all right, got a callback for Power Rangers, pretty cool. Like, just kind of blew it off because I figured it'd be just another no in the books. But it kind of became real in like the screen testing and the mix and match rounds where they're actually lining you up like next to Ciara, next to Azim, and they're going, okay, all right, we can see that. And that's what I'm going, oh, I could be my own childhood hero. This is kind of cool. So yes, it did eventually, like, it all came flooding back. All the years sneaking out into my living room watching Power Rangers when I wasn't allowed to. So yeah, it's actually really amazing.
So So speaking of auditions, like how was that process? Like you had mentioned that you had to show like coordination and that you're not just gonna like fall over every time you try to do a stunt or anything.
Yeah.
So
It was a long process. It was like quite a few months. I remember I auditioned, me and Azim, did you audition for Samurai?
No.
Okay, so me and Azim auditioned for Samurai season 4 actually. And we got to the final rounds again, and I ended up contract, like business issues. But I came back again for Megaforce, and I auditioned, and then I didn't hear anything for months later. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I didn't get that one. Well, that sucks. And it just was a long process. And once we got down to it, so much waiting time. You wait, it's like they're testing your patience. They're like, you're sitting there in a room for hours. And I've talked to for Dino Charge when they auditioned, and the same with Ninja Steel. They're doing the same thing to them. I think that they want to make sure they pick, it's a certain personality that you have to be a Power Ranger. And if you hang out with all of us, we have that specific thing. And it's like we are chill, we are patient, we're rowdy, but we're behaved at times, but not. It's just a certain personality trait. It's just like a long process, and you get to really enjoy each other and get to know each other when you're in the waiting room. And like, yeah, I did a cartwheel in there, and I did a few punches that I practiced in my backyard with Dad, and that was about it.
Yeah, Jonathan Zacher, one of our EPE executive producer for our show, on I think it was just my callback or something, I did a little like Taekwondo routine that I tried to remember. And at the end, he was like, that was great. When we call you in next, can you like work on that a little? Can you go, like, maybe go a little farther with it, or be a little more prepared with your martial arts so that we can see what you can actually do? It was kind of embarrassing, but I'm glad he told me that.
Didn't Azim bring like a sword or something?
Azim brought many weapons.
Yeah, and I know John made sound like, ha, ho, ha, with every move he did. Well, you're enthusiastic at least, John, so like that got you somewhere.
The comedy season, that's what we were.
It was a fun time. But yeah, he's the one who was the most, our green and black ranger. He was the most
Definitely experienced.
experienced martial arts, and he did fencing,
He's done stunts and everything like that.
yeah, so he was our kind of guy. I remember I did partnered me with him to do a scene, and we had to do like he's like, hey, like just hit me like that. He was trying to teach me stunt work as we're in the audition room. I was like, what's happening here? But that's Azim in a nutshell. He's like loves teaching, he loves showing you, he wants to always improve, and love that.
Yeah.
Love that about him.
Yeah.
I remember slapping him on the stomach and hey, in our little audition. How did I do that? It was fun though. Got us the part.
That's the thing.
So you get cast.
Yes.
What next? Like hardcore training? Like what? Take us through.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of, and that's what kind of sets it in for us. Is like you get these phone calls from New Zealand, and you get phone calls from like the liaison who's helping you line everything up. And I think they went through a slightly different process than I did because they had kind of an apartment set up for me when I got there, but these guys had to go find their own house. And they showed up, they lived in a hotel for a little while, and they had to go like house hunting while they were shooting the show.
It's weird because you're going to a different country, and you're going away from your family, your friends, to go film this TV show for like 9 months. So that was a big process having to, they give you probably, I think I knew for like a month and a half before I left. And so I had to kind of like, okay, so all right now, I gotta pack, I gotta get everything ready, you have to get your bank account over there, you have to get your housing, you have to get, you start training, I started going to the gym more, because we didn't do training until we actually got in New Zealand. So that was just kind of mentally preparing yourself, and even getting the phone call itself that you're gonna be, like I was supposed to be the Pink Ranger. I auditioned for Pink, and I ended up getting Yellow. I was like, that's interesting. And Christina auditioned for Yellow. And that's when I got the phone call, I'm like, wait, no, you're misunderstanding.
The old Saban switcheroo.
Yeah, I'm the Pink Ranger. I wore a pink shirt every time I went in there, and pink shoes. I swear I'm the Pink Ranger. Like, oh no, you're Yellow now, you're Gia. I'm like, okay. But it all makes sense now. Like, I'm such a Gia. Can you imagine me running around on a bike taking pictures in the pink shorts? Okay, never mind. It would be a very different character if I played her. I can't be that sweet and flattering and soft.
There's a lot that goes into it that you just that you never would have thought. Like going to the bank and setting up and getting like a tax number for the country. Like I guess just in the excitement and rush of everything, you don't think about those kind of details. You're like, this is very important. Like,
Yeah,
to
you don't
get
have-
paid. Like, I need this.
You don't have to get their phone out there.
Yeah,
Like,
they give you a phone and they give you a. I mean.
you end up Skyping your family back home, but the hours are so different.
Yeah.
Like late to early. It was a tough transition on that part, just as a human being. Not just filming something, but having to adjust your life. And I remember like the first couple months were the hardest because like you're filming a TV show for the first time when you're the lead and you're working 6 days a week and you don't have anyone to go home to except your coworkers that you just met. So that was a good. Well, it was cool because it made us very close. Like we lived in the same house, we worked together, and we hung out together. So we knew each other's tics and how to push to the buttons and how to make each other feel good at the same time.
Yeah.
And the camera fit right into us, so it worked out.
Just slid right in. They infiltrated.
So, so speaking of like the cast report, like any pranks on set?
It's always asked because everyone wants to know, like, oh, so like, who were the troublemakers? Who did that? But I feel like we had a lot of fun. We were a very well.
Yeah, nothing too serious. Like John liked to scare people a lot. John would like hide in weird spots that we wouldn't think he would actually be able to fit in, but he fit there. And like in our trailers, we had like some storage spots underneath the benches and couches and stuff. And he fit in the storage space somehow and jumped out and scared a few of us a few times. But no practical jokes that involved anything like messy or dangerous or anything.
Like Azim would like
elaborate.
tap the shoulder thing, and like you get a kick when you look over the other way. Like I got you. Like this is the 10th time
Pretty
today.
small stuff, yeah.
Like how are you gonna keep doing this? And I'll look straight at you right when you do it. He's like, oh, well next time I'll get you. I'm like, okay, Azim. We were very, very professional. Like we were all actors before. I mean, not just coming in like, oh, this is great. Like, like we came in, did our work, and then we played when we got home. Like it's you don't want to be that person that's making people you're going overtime 2 hours. Like we all want to like do work, do well, go home, eat, play, sleep, wake up, do it all again. So I think we were, because they told us Samurai was like crazy.
Yeah, Samurai Crew was pretty rowdy.
Yeah.
There were like new rules set in place for Megaforce because of Samurai.
Yeah.
Because of those actors.
Yeah, we got gypped on some things.
Like they were allowed to buy cars and like mopeds and stuff so that they could get around town.
And
we
travel.
we weren't. Because somebody crashed their moped. Actor.
Oh, you're cool. Actor.
How hard was it adjusting to moving to New Zealand and being there for so long? I know that is tough. Like,
Yeah, the
moving
first
somewhere.
3 months were the hardest for me just because I'm from California and like going to LA and living and working in LA, I was only an hour and a half out. So I would go home all the time. I saw my family every day. I have a very close family. My mom's always home. So to me, not being around family was really hard. And adjusting to only talking to someone on a screen like late at night. That was the hardest part to me. And it got easier as time went on. I grew as a person and as I grew into an adult, I feel like, doing that. And going back for Christmas break, we went back for like 4 or 5 weeks, and that was a good, it's nice that they do that, you need that. And everyone's like, well, why didn't you just stay and explore New Zealand? Like, I need family time. So just adjusting to not seeing your familiar faces, but then they become family. So that's the thing that really helped out a lot.
Yeah, it was super easy for me. I love travel, I love seeing the world, and experiencing other cultures. The hardest part for me, though, was I had just been married, like, I think, not even 8 months prior. And so living away from Nicole for 4 months, I think I was out there, was very difficult. Like she said, the Skyping people and getting on the phone with people was pretty difficult because it's always the opposite side of the day or whatever, and she works a full-time job, and but we made it work, and she was able to come out to visit, so that was cool. And but yeah, other than that, the transition was pretty seamless. Like, it's an English-speaking country, so there's no language barrier.
Yeah, that was good, because I was afraid, I think, well, what do they speak there? Like New Zealander? Like, I don't know, like, what kind of words are that? Should I look it up? Like, I wasn't sure. Don't you learn something? But yeah.
The currencies, it's called a dollar, just like it is here. And yeah, so overall transition is pretty easy. It's just our like personal stuff that gets a little difficult.
Yeah, being away from family.
Sure.
So,
What was it like to work with like the veteran actors that just came in for one episode or?
The cameos and stuff, the Guild Rangers, man, those guys were pretty cool. I became super close with Alex Hartman from Samurai. He and I lived in the same hotel for the first few weeks that we were there, and we'd meet every morning, get coffee, and every night grabbing dinner after shooting. And I think he was probably my most influential former Ranger, just because he kind of showed me a little bit more of the ropes about being on the show and everything. But of course, when everybody showed up for the legendary battle, it was there was just a fun energy, at the studio and on set that it just added to it. When Jason David Frank shows up, and he always has like a crew with him and everything, and so just the energy is way different and very exciting, and they're very, very, very helpful people, and they were very encouraging as well. They were telling us, we watched some of your episodes, and you guys are doing a great job, keep up the good work. So and they came at a time when we were like pretty battered and beat. We're working 6 days a week, 12 to 14-hour days, and it's like the end of our schedule. We had maybe 2 weeks of shooting left, and they came in and kind of pumped a bit of energy into us, which was really cool.
Because I was afraid, you're always afraid with veteran Rangers coming, you feel like you're stepping on their toes, and you're taking over now, you don't want them to think that at all, but they came in open arms,
Yeah,
and
they didn't make us feel like
very
that.
encouraging, you guys are doing great, and it was a cool experience working with them on set, just because you grow up watching these people, and wow, everyone knows who you are, and now I'm hanging out having dinner with you, and even when we're filming Legendary Battle, so you guys need to be shocked and oh my gosh, this is, we don't have to act during that. We felt
that
the
scene, the
goosebumps.
scene in the Legendary Battle when we're standing there, we haven't morphed yet, the Rangers are walking all up to us, and we're like, holy crap, it's the Legendary Rangers, and they all take off their helmets. That same feeling you guys probably had of oh my god, look at them all, that's insane. We felt the same way, we were just standing there
It's just great seeing all the colors of all the different
It's
Rangers on the
insane.
story.
Yeah.
Oh man, just a bunch of fighting Skittles, just taste the rainbow. This is amazing. I loved
Yes.
it. So cool, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Loved
Okay.
it. But yeah.
What about their questions?
yeah. Do you guys have questions?
If you guys have them. Okay, what's up?
Yeah.
Can you hear a microphone, or
Yeah, do you want
so you can hear me?
Which one?
This guy up here in the front, and then the guy in the yellow shirt.
Alright, out of curiosity, have you guys watched Gokaiger, your guys' counterparts? Did you guys actually see the legendary battle that they were in before their season actually happened?
I didn't get to watch the Legendary Battle, but we did see some of the episodes. Saban gave us some discs of Gokaiger, and it was awesome.
What was your favorite part about Gokaiger?
Probably that it's not as geared towards children. I guess it seems like they got a little bit more freedom with.
I just like the style of the Japanese. They're very over the top, and you can always tell when they use Japanese footage, because all of a sudden I'm doing peace signs and my hands on the hips. I'm it's not a Gia thing, yeah. But we definitely watched it. I know I didn't watch as much as some of the boys did, but definitely because some of our episodes are gauged around the episodes, obviously, for that. So we watch our kind of see what we're getting ourselves into, what we don't want to come in and be total opposite of what the footage they're using. So you kind of want to give and take a little.
Well, I was fine being totally opposite of my character. I
Yeah.
think I was totally fine being the opposite of him. A little flamboyant, but
Yeah,
all right.
a little bit.
Hi, I just want to say that I've been a huge Power Rangers fan ever since the very beginning, 1993. My favorite part of Power Rangers is the Zords, and which means great toys to play with, and
Absolutely.
and I'm glad that Bandai started this, or is it Saban Brands? Well, it doesn't matter. who they started this Power Rangers Legacy line, and I hope it continues on for a very long time.
We do too.
Yeah. So, and my question is well, it's for the upcoming movie that's coming out next year. I mean, I don't care like who's playing who, or if we're going to see new villains or familiar villains, but I mean, I've seen pictures of the new Power Ranger costumes on the internet. I sure would like to know what the Zords are going to look like, and I hope they'll be real like cool and edgy and awesome. I mean, which means great toys to look forward to getting.
We do too. We're totally looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You know, we're for sure seeing Rita Repulsa and Zordon, but I don't think they're leaking any of the. They've leaked the suits. You know, they've showed us the suits, I think, but they haven't. They're not gonna probably show us the Megazords until the big trailers start coming out.
Yeah, well, I just hope the Zords will be like cool and edgy and awesome, just like the new suits are.
Absolutely. Totally, man.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Comment.
Nice.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you
Hello,
folks?
sir. Great. How are you?
Fantastic. So I actually have two questions. Feel free to answer it openly if you wish. Question number one. How does one become a villain or a cast member with Saban Brands to be a villain or a ranger or like one of the side characters? What's the process for that?
Well, it depends. A lot of side characters and that kind of sorts are New Zealand locals, just because they get us from LA and America for the show, except Dino Charge got a New Zealander and some other people. But a lot of those are New Zealand locals, just because it's easier for them and cheaper and everything. But I know they do get some of like the monster voices, and they do get some side characters in LA.
Yeah.
It's all an audition process. You have to go
it's
through
a
casting.
pretty similar casting process. They send out a breakdown and a description of the monster or the character or something, and how he or she is supposed to sound. And they probably get a little bit of a looks description too, so that the voice actor can kind of shape their voice after maybe what the monster looks like. And then for voice auditions, you essentially go in and record a bit of dialogue that or some kind of lines or something from that, and Saban or the casting office will listen to all of them and pretty much decide from there. It's actually a lot easier for them not to get cast. I shouldn't say that, but it's easier for them to decide on them because they don't have to worry about the look. They just have to hear the voice.
You just need to hear the voice.
Yes.
There you go.
That's great. You should definitely audition. Do it.
Question number two.
Okay.
Now this is more related to you guys as individuals. If you had not gone into a career in acting, what career would you have gone into?
It's tough because everyone always asks, like, oh, so like, if this doesn't work out, like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep doing it, even if I'm eating ramen on the streets.
Don't be dissing the ramen now. We love it.
I love ramen. You can add so many things to it. It's
I think
amazing.
she needs the 15-cent pack.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I'd do. Cooking.
I think I would probably be a chef. I'm a massive fan of cooking.
Oh, I know what
Or a photographer.
I'd be a children's book writer. A children's book writer. I love writing like simple poems and like imaginary, like, oh, the puppy went to the store. Like, I love just simple stories, and I love just simple rhyming, and I want to do that anyway on the side, so I guess if that's my full-time job, I would love to have the adventures of Kokomo and Razzle.
Those are our two dogs.
They're so cute.
And they're adorable.
Well, thank you so much for answering my
No,
question.
thank you. Thank you very much. What else?
Yes.
Yeah, talk to us.
How do you guys feel like the fandom after? You were expecting to have such a family of actors and fans and the resurgence of the brand. Were you expecting all that after?
I had no clue.
No. Even just getting into it, we had no idea. The one time that really like opened my eyes to this franchise was when they introduced Megaforce at PowerRanger the before we started filming, because we walked out like, okay, the new cast of Megaforce, and we walked out, and it was a giant room just screaming and filled. I was like, wow, this is...
Yeah, it's a room bigger
This
than
is
this,
big.
and the seats were filled, and they had people standing. It was like standing room only.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the Megaforce reveal because I came on later, but I was there for the Dino Charge reveal, and it was, if it was half as much as what the Dino Charge reveal was, it was insane. Like,
Yeah.
that totally blew my mind.
And then I didn't even think I would become friends or acquaintances with all the different past Rangers. I'm like, oh, it's just your season, cool, maybe I'll meet them in passing maybe one time. But like you get really close with everyone automatically. Like I went to Ranger Stop in Florida this last November, and people I've never met before that come up to me with hugs, like, hey, it's so nice to finally meet you, and like you're automatically best friends with like the Rangers from all the different seasons, but you haven't even met them. So you automatically are friends, you're automatically family, it's a very tight-knit, huge family. So it's like, I had no idea I was going to be part of that, which is why I like PowerRanger so much, because you have buddies for life, pretty much.
What was it like putting the suits on for the first time?
Tight.
Hot.
Hot.
It's hot and tight.
A lot of layers.
They,
Go pee first
yeah.
before putting it on.
They don't want any lumps showing, so they strap you down.
Yeah, it's cool though. The first time putting a suit on is quite an experience. You feel powerful, you feel cool, you have to stand up straight, you can't like sit down.
The posture has to be perfect.
Yeah, it's a cool experience, especially because we, from Megaforce to go to Super Megaforce suits, they're different as well. I liked Super, well at first we thought they were joking with the Super Megaforce suits because we didn't know we got our Megaforce suits and we thought, they never told us we were going to Super Megaforce. They kept it from us because they thought we could leak it or something. So when we showed up to film season 2, like, okay, so we're gonna get new suits. Like, wait, but I love my suit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was just a really sad moment because you get so connected with the first thing that kind of came into your life. And then they're like, okay, so here's this silver little collar, and then here's this, like, are we pirates? Like, what's happening here? What? And like, yeah, and you watch the
I think they're
footage.
wondering that too.
Yeah, like, we're all so curious, like, are we space pirates? Like, what? Oh, to answer the footage question, I thought it was really interesting that the Japanese footage, they're like thieves. They like steal keys, and that's how they get powers, and that's so interesting to me. That's so cool. Like, in ours are just kind of like, we never knew what those little figures were on the walls when we were at the command center. We thought they were just decorations. Until second season, we read the first script of episode 1, like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, the suits were definitely tight, a lot of layers, especially Super Megaforce. Super Megaforce is less comfy than Megaforce. But they look cool. Like the black is nice. You don't have to worry about spilling anything. Yeah,
We had less of a hassle with like having to wear robes between takes and stuff because we weren't really worried about getting stained or anything. But I think with my costume especially, the silver was cool. Like I was essentially like
I liked your bill out.
like a walking traffic cone. Don't get much.
Oh yeah, if I needed a light, I just put Cameron right in front of me, reflecting.
I was a natural bounce board. But also my gold mode, the legendary mode, they actually let me wear that, and it was like powerful. I mean, I turned around and looked in the mirror and I just kind of like stared at myself for a while because I'd never seen a costume like that on any Ranger. Maybe no, I don't think I've ever seen something like that on a Ranger. So yeah, that was like I forgot about all my discomfort once I saw that on myself. One
of the coolest things was going into like the trucks and seeing all the different suits from all the different seasons just kind of there. And we had they shipped all of the weapons from Japan to us too. So we had a giant warehouse of these giant guns from the 90s and these little tiny like blasters and this and like this giant claw thing. I'm like, how did they carry those things back in the day?
Yeah. The props and costumes team were really cool. They would give us tours of their warehouses and let us kind of just peruse all the different other costumes. And the monster guys they let us try on like some of the monster heads and stuff like that.
The monster thing was cool. You go into the monster little like house on set, and they just have them all just around the walls, just these different monster heads. The commander, I think is the commander? Is that what his name was? The silver dude, like?
Bakar?
No, not him.
Yeah?
Not him,
No.
though. There was another dude.
The Emperor, Macro? I'm testing.
It's been too many years now.
King Mondo?
He looked like the Terminator or something. He was really scary. Anyways, he freaked me out.
Yeah, the cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh,
In Japan. Okay. Sorry, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one freaked me out. I walked in there.
Oh, yeah, if you ever walked in there at night, you're freaked. Like, you feel like you're walking into a horror film.
And our the pink fluffy dog looking things. But yeah.
Anything else? Go for it.
Question I have, your guys' work is from Japan. Would you mind doing you guys' roll call?
Sure. Bring it out for us.
Oh gosh, if I can remember. Wow. Jeez, this is gonna be embarrassing. Oh, you have a yellow key too.
They're gonna be separate though, because
Wait, we're doing just.
isn't this Megaforce? Oh, that's Super Megaforce.
Come on, camera.
Okay. Let's do this. Now you're testing. I'm going.
Side note, the hardest part of filming was getting the key right in the hole.
You just have to, because you
Like
have to.
this, without looking, like it was, and when you got it in, woo! Yes! It was so cool.
I was always looking for the cut line, like.
Oh yeah, there's so many times we had to like do this and then have it already in there and then do that.
Mine was a little easier because I could basically like feel it out. Like guy just goes in straight up. Are we gonna do? I guess it's just.
Because I can't do the key things. There's no way I could.
That's okay, you don't have to do the key thing. I just want you to.
And my timing's different from yours.
Yeah.
See, that was also hard because my timing is so much different because I go out and then I cross and then I go out and around like that or whatever.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to remember this which one. So it's like,
Okay.
so it's like this. You flip the key. That. Is it that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All
And
right.
then it was like.
You want us to call it out?
Yes,
More
you know.
fun.
Yeah.
Let,
Oh no, Super Meg Force. Cow!
Go.
Super Megaforce.
Oh, this is so. I feel like we're like.
Where do you want to start?
Right when I turn the key.
You guys do super mega mode.
Super Mega Mode. Did we do that?
That's the call.
Okay.
I love how you're telling us. Wait, so what? Damn it. Hold on.
It's super mega mode is how you guys did your call.
So embarrassing.
Okay, here's how we're gonna do it.
It's only been like, what,
Start
4
here.
years?
We'll go from here.
But I think we did.
We'll go.
You show up
Super
at that
Mega
table and
Mode.
go, get away, dude.
Huh?
Go Super Mega Mode, and then we'll just kind of go at it, and then you're going to have to give me a second.
And I'll watch for your cue for when your key is in, and we'll go right on.
All right.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Go, Super Mega Mode! Oh, I messed up. I messed up mine.
Did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it individually.
It's because we didn't say it's more.
I'll do Super
Okay,
Mega
then
Force
there's
still.
morphin' time.
Oh, it's more than that.
I think that's what it is. It's more.
It is time for morphing. Okay.
Ready?
And then once we
I gotta
do-
rehearse. Good rehearsal. Yeah. Yeah.
One.
How about you guys count it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
Ready? And
1, 2, 3.
it's morphin' time!
Play with your feet, dude.
That also happened on set.
That was awesome.
It didn't break, it just fell off.
Are these the American ones, right?
No.
I was gonna say, because these are the ones we actually used on set with these people.
Oh yeah, it does. It makes all the noises.
I love that.
You totally did.
Try marks.
Thank you.
And
And
then
I'm
our
sorry that
Megaforce.
I'm sorry we
Megaforce
couldn't
is
make it
easier.
perfect for you guys.
Gifts for you too, and I thought that would be later on.
Awesome, thank you.
You guys.
So there's a little behind the scenes action for you. The morphs are not always perfect.
Yeah, because our Megaforce and our Super Megaforce are different.
They always
oh,
film.
I did it wrong. It's like this. The key's here. I was doing this. That was our Megaforce. It was like, come on. That key, then this, then this. No, that's our Mega Force. So Mega Force, we do the thing. Also, we have a card all of a sudden. Then we do this, and then we do that. Right?
Just to
No,
sell
no,
more
we do
toys.
this,
It's all
and
just
then
to
we do
sell more
that.
toys.
Ha! You know what? Let's get over this. Let's move on.
Guys,
They always-
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Thank
taking
you.
up on you too.
Well, so they always had to film mine separately from theirs because it was a totally different morph and the timing was just not the same. So even though I'd be right next to them doing it, they would just be like, all right, Cameron, just like do your thing and don't worry about it, and we'll film yours next, like, because it's just so different and the timing is way different. And I had to like press buttons, like they were like, try to get it on like your face, because that keypad has like 12 Rangers on it or something like that. They're like, if you can, try to land your finger on your face. I'm like, really? I'm not even looking at it. I'm like, I don't know where I'm touching. But so there you go, guys. That's part of filmmaking. Is like there is a bit of magic involved, but
Great job.
you're not going to get
I'm
a
embarrassed.
perfect morph. Yeah, it's a lot easier when we don't have anything in our hands. It looks a lot better.
I'm definitely gonna go tonight practice in my hotel room. So ask me tomorrow. I'll be a little bit better, maybe.
I think we actually had,
tomorrow, I'm gonna test you.
Oh, gosh.
yeah, you can test us tomorrow. That's
I have
fine.
both morphers with me.
We had a pretty good morph at Sacramento last year.
We did. All of us did it.
Yeah, we all did it. All 6 of us did it. And
I
it
know
was
we all
like
did
pretty
it.
seamless.
That's why I'm fresh, you didn't have the rest of the team.
Yeah, we're not gonna have the support.
Yeah, you know, it just threw it off. I didn't have John next to me laughing, and I didn't have Christina a little off. Like, I needed it.
Are you on the PowerRanger?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Practice
Yes.
for them.
What?
You gotta practice for them.
Oh, yes, I have to. That's gonna be so much fun at PowerRanger.
I know.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a sweet event.
I like that it only happens every 2 years too, so when it happens, it's like a special, like, Christmas. Yeah, I love it.
Any more questions?
I have one.
Okay.
Hi, let's see. I've really enjoyed watching the PowerRangers, but a lot of times I wish some things would have been different, or could have gone better. Want to hear one of them?
Please.
Well, ever watched PowerRangers Lost Galaxy?
I've watched some of it, not all of it, but I'm familiar somewhat.
Well, are you at least familiar with the Stratoforce Megazord and Centaurus Megazord? You know, blue and red Megazords?
Can't say I am, but
Sorry.
please inform us.
Well, Stratoforce Megazord is 5 jets that combine into a Megazord. I mean, it used to be a Phoenix, a Galactabeast, and Centaurus is 5 land vehicles, and it used to be the Rhino. And, well, I mean, they sure look real cool, and they were great toys. Just wish that they were designed to, I don't know, combine with each other. I mean, that would have been made them even more cool and awesome, but they weren't.
Definitely.
But it's sad that at the end of Lost Galaxy, they end up being destroyed by a swarm of stingwingers with bombs connected to them. Those were like the foot soldiers, you know, like in different seasons of PowerRangers, they had like putties and cogs and brontrons.
Exports.
Yeah, so. In a lot of seasons, Megazords got destroyed, and I hate seeing those great swords being destroyed.
I think we all did, man.
Yeah, but they say that somebody replied on YouTube saying that kind of like the losses or things that we suffer kind of makes us stronger or something, and it kind of would be boring if our heroes were totally invulnerable, nothing could hurt them. So I guess it means showing that they can be hurt and they're not completely. They're vulnerable just like anybody else. It means that makes them not so boring.
Totally. Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
Question number 3.
Two quick ones.
As you portray the legendary Rangers, other than the Megaforce and the Super Megaforce costumes, did you ever have an opportunity to wear the costumes from previous seasons?
I didn't, no.
If you did, which one would you wear?
Well, I picked 2 for 2 different reasons. I picked Jungle Spirit because their shoes look squishy and funny. They look so funny and cozy. They're like sponges.
And our boots were not comfortable.
No, they weren't. And then I think just Mighty Morphin just because it's fun and like whenever we do the Mighty Morphin call out, like whenever during fighting scenes, it was super cool. Like I love
There's way more power in the Mighty Morphin costumes for
The
sure.
nostalgia reeks of awesomeness.
Reeks of Jason Davis wearing sweat.
Oh, okay.
I would probably morph into not morph into. I would want to wear because I didn't get to wear any other costumes other than my own. I would want the SPD Silver and Gold that I did in the dream sequence or whatever when I was. That's what I would want to wear because I don't even think they brought that to New Zealand. I think that was all footage from Gokaiger.
Oh, wow.
So it would have been pretty epic to have that costume. Or the Christmas one. Isn't there a Christmas silver? Yeah. So one of those.
And if I don't mean to sound like as if I'm grilling the guys, it's just that I've been a fan of the franchise since it was.
No, bring it on.
So-
If we can't answer it,
So
sorry.
thank you guys for coming out today.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming.
So-
That's awesome. Cool. And
Okay, 2 questions. He's just stole my thunder with thank you for coming out, so I was going to say thank you for coming out.
you can say it
We
too.
appreciate it. 2 things. What are you guys working on now, individually or collectively, and how soon before you do a Megaforce cookbook?
That's brilliant.
Right? Come on.
Now I gotta follow through on it.
You get the rest of the cast members that you're now friends with,
Yeah.
you all kick in with the rest of it.
We all, yeah, you know what? That's brilliant. I think I'll do that.
We don't care about your thing right now. We care about these guys.
All right, as soon as I publish it,
So what do you-
remember, we get 10% or something for the
Okay.
idea, something like that.
So seriously, what are you guys working on now as far as projects?
Oh, okay. I just wrapped up on 2 films, one of which you'll see around Halloween time. If you guys saw, I actually have to ask you all to stop recording right
Spoilers.
now.
Right
You can turn the cameras on now.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you want,
yeah.
if you were filming, I don't know.
What am I working on? A couple things already came out, so it's not like I'm working on them. One movie I was supposed to film next month. I'm actually not filming until next year, and that's a horror film, which is fun. I just love doing horror films. It's like scary, everyone dies, that kind of thing. Other than that, I'm just kind of like, as an actor, I'm trying to find some cool, interesting things I really want to sink into and cool characters. And I'm kind of just in like the middle period right now, which is always kind of fun and free and be able to kind of pick and choose what you feel like doing. So yeah, I'm in a middle period. But I'm going to go watch through during Halloween.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. What are we thinking?
Good. Does anybody have any more questions?
Yes.
Downstairs after this, or?
We'll probably eat some food, and then we'll be downstairs for the rest of the day, hanging out. So come see us, for sure.
I
Yeah.
have 2 last questions.
Okay, go for it.
Yes.
My first one is if you guys could have played any other Ranger in any of the other seasons, who would you have played?
Titanium.
I saw that one coming. I don't know why, but I saw that one coming.
I think it's Psycho.
Red's the man. You Psycho.
Psycho Rangers from its space.
Oh.
They're pretty
Yeah. I like the darkness of it.
She's also a little
My
psycho.
second question is, would you guys ever go back for a camp?
Would we ever go back for a cameo? Duh. That's our family, man. You don't say no to your family.
And if you got asked to play a new Ranger, would you?
A new Ranger? See, that's a different question. That's a different question. It would be harder for me to say yes because I know the fan base doesn't like changes without a big explanation, without a real explanation. And I feel like after solidifying ourselves in the Power Ranger universe as yellow and silver, in Megaforce, you know, it would have to be Orion coming back and finding another key or another morpher, or it would have to still be Orion. If he was another color, I would be okay with it, but it would have to still be.
That's what I was asking. If you could play another color, what color would you play in the future? Then you come back as Orion.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe some new color.
You look great in silver though. So.
Thanks. Neon green. So I don't know. I want something kind of different. And, you know,
I feel like turquoise.
Neon Ranger, fuchsia, magenta. They've already had some kind of purple Ranger though, right? They've already had some kind of, and Wild Force.
They have the Purple Ranger at Dino Church too.
Yeah. And then wasn't there some kind of Wolf Ranger or something?
Jungle Fury.
The Jungle Fury guy. I mean, that's great. I think I would want something different that either hasn't been a color that hasn't been chosen for, or a Ranger that's not necessarily based off of color and more based off of some kind of theme or animal or something where the color didn't matter.
There's a new season out right now, and as my buddy Ryan just said it's a like mixed breed between like two different animals. It's silver and what's the other?
Black silver.
Is that for Dino Charge?
Zoo World. It's a new series.
It looks pretty cool.
That's awesome. Wait, that's a show that's on right now?
In Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
We got gypped. That's awesome. Easy. Yes, I'm all for that. That's so cool.
Too bad they mind.
Yeah, Orion comes back as some evil. Yeah, no, I totally do that.
Did Tinkerbell have a question?
Do you have a question?
I saw your hand up.
Speak to us.
Okay.
Oh, you do? All right.
I can tell you she's probably in the desert somewhere.
Probably in the desert. Taking pictures.
Let's have a big round of applause for our guests today.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. Everyone take a little break and then we'll see you downstairs.
Yeah, we'll see you on the floor.
Awesome.
And
Thanks
we
guys
can
for
roll me
coming.
around too, so.